Festival in 2016 is coming to a close, but before we do that, we thought we'd go back on previous years and discuss our top fives of all time, as we are such fans of the contest. So, Mikey, what have you got in fifth? Kick us off for us.
This is so tough purely because I have way too many favorites in this contest. And narrowing it down to five is just horrendous because it's just the selection is so big and it's produced, some of the, most loved songs in the Eurovision world. So picking five is horrendous. Um, but kicking it off, I'm actually choosing something from this year.
Okay.
So my fifth favorite of all time is going to be Ace Wilder with "Don't Worry." This for me is just Ace Wilder is that kind of artist to me, in Melodifestivalen who's brought something that no one else has ever done. And for me, she's revolutionized this contest in a completely different way where, you have your classic Melodifestivalen acts who come in, they either, have this new modern sound that we've seen like Mon Samelo, Irixade do, or you have your classic Schlager. But this is something different what Ace does. And what I adore about her within Melodifestivalen is that she's true to herself as an artist. I mean, I'm a big fan of Ace outside of this contest as well. So I followed all the songs she's ever released. And what I love is that her approach to Melodifestivalen isn't let's release something that people are going to like or that they will vote for. She's like, I will release my own single and put it forward. And that's exactly what she's done with "Don't Worry." And for me, this is bold, this is catchy. This for me has been on repeat ever since day one. From the first listen back, 5 weeks ago now, I was hooked. I knew I was going to love this song, but I couldn't imagine onto what kind of scale. The performance as well is just it's so dynamic and it's new for Melodifestivalen as well. Plus, just her, I think the thing what really gets me with Ace is her confidence in her performance as well. How she literally looks like she's just not worrying. She's just having the time of her life and going with it. And I think that's just something very rare that you see in artists competing in Melodifestivalen. She doesn't need this contest.
No.
She's doing this because she wants to do it, not because she needs to do it. She's successful in her own right now. You know, I couldn't say a bad thing about this song. I think it's phenomenal. It's hard to, placing this fifth is difficult because some of the songs on this list I've known for years. There are songs going back 15 years ago, that's some of my all-time favorites. And maybe in a year's time, I may feel differently. But for me, I've not looked at a song like "Don't Worry." There's only been a few that I've been as instant as this, where I think this is as good as it is all the way through. So for that reason, I'm giving "Don't Worry" fifth place.
I do enjoy the song as well. Like, it is my winner for this year. But my fifth place is going back to last year and was my personal winner, which is Dina Na and "Make Me La La La." Like, there's a lot you can get wrong with this sort of genre in dance music, but I think she kind of gets it right in a weird sense. Like, I like how it builds and it's quite slow, and then it like goes up and up and up, and then into the chorus, and then it goes down and up again. I like how that all works. I like how like the stage show was very impressive, like with the dancers and all the wide shots and how they did all that. Like, she was very open and said, "I'm not a dancer, so I'm not going to join in the dancing." So she's very aware of what she's good at. And I just liked her attitude on stage. Like, she just kind of like threw everything into it. She acted like she didn't really like care as much. So, like the other artists, she was just enjoying it. But it's a fun song, and it's I've been playing this all like ever since the end of the contest last year. I've like just had it on repeat because I love this song so much, and I think she's fantastic. Like I said, there's a lot you can get wrong with dance music in this sort of style, but I think she has got it in my mind bang on. And I love this song. I think it's fantastic, and yeah, I just love her. So I just say the song's just fantastic in my mind. I just like how it all like it almost like a climax, and I just think it's very very good and very well put together as a song and as a 3 minute production. That's why I had to give it fifth. Like, I wanted to give it higher, but there are just other I think other cleaner, more polished songs that were worthier than this. And I think that is the one drawback from it. It can come across a little bit messy and confusing. So that's why it's only fifth. But I would have loved to have put it higher.
I would probably place it in my top 50 of all time. I know it's in my top 100 most played songs, somewhere in that list. Um, but I think it's a worthy song. You know, I'll never judge anyone else for what they have in their top five, but I think it's a very worthy song to have in a top five.
Right, fourth place is what have you got in fourth for you then?
Fourth place in my top four, bearing in mind sort of the data on my iPod, you know, represents basically everything I've listened to in the last 6 years. And all four songs in my top four or in my top 10 most played songs of all time. So these were actually quite easy to pick. Again, it's going to be Ace Wilder with Busy Doing Nothing.
Busy, 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 doing nothing at all. No bother to call, I'm doing nothing at all. Don't wanna work, I wanna make money while I sleep. Don't wanna work, I wanna make money while I dream.
I think a lot of people will have this song quite highly in their list. There's so many things I can say about this song, you know. But we say, you know, every year when we get the lineup to Melodifestivalen and we look at the favorites and we're saying, oh, we could have, you know, a dark horse, you know, a Robin Crownberg there that just comes out of nowhere. But genuinely, you know, Ace Wilder just crashed through those doors and was, you know, don't worry, she does it on that scale, but Busy Doing Nothing, she just crashed onto that stage, exploded Sweden. You know, what is that? I think triple platinum in Sweden.
Something like that.
This song just was incredible. What this achieved, yeah, it didn't win the contest, but what it achieved was just phenomenal. You know, and for me, that she was doing something that no one else had ever done before. I know we look at people like Loreen as those who really revolutionized Melody
Yeah.
Festival, but for me, Ace Wilder just did it on a different scale. You know, she brought something bold, something that no one had heard in this kind of contest before. She took a big gamble. No one knew who she was, and she truly just she set Sweden on fire. And for me, this song is just it's so modern and it's so current. Like in a way, I know this is kind of weird to say. You know, consider this video is obviously very Eurovision and Melody Festival based, but I think it's too good for this world. Like on that scale, you know, when I was working in radio and this song was about, you know, I used to play this, and we had people tweet in saying, "What is this? Oh, what's this song? Like, really like the song. Like, what is it?" And it just made me think this works on such an international basis. I mean, yeah, it won the international jury vote, which says it all in its contest, but for me, this it will take a lot to beat this, but for me, this is the best song to never win Melody Festival, and I will always think, what if with this song? I'm so devastated that we'll never know how this song could have done at Eurovision, but this is such an iconic song, and I think for years to come, people will remember this song. Maybe not necessarily her, as you know, she's not as big as a favorite this year as she was last year. But I think Busy Doing Nothing will be one people will remember for a long time from Melody Festival.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said about it, like Loreen revolutionising Melfest, but I think she did as well. Like because as we've seen since 2014, a lot more people have come with their own unique style of song. They're not fitting into the normal Melfest box. Like they're being more like outlandish, and she set the tone for that. She's literally like, "This is my song. This is what I'm gonna do." Literally, like no staging but four dancers, and she, like I said, she absolutely set the world on fire. And like I said, this you could hear this anywhere, and people would like appreciate it.
That I adore about her the most is just her take on this whole thing. She's such a down to earth person, when it comes to her costumes, for example, when asked, so like who's the designer, who did this, she went, oh, I just went to a vintage shop in London and bought it. And she did the same thing this year, when she was asked, so your clothes this year, well, like who designed it? Got it from the same vintage shop I got my clothes for Busy Doing Nothing. She's just, it's like she just doesn't care, and she says it as it is. And I think the thing where she really won my respect was 2 years ago in the final. I was there in the Friends Arena, and after the results came out and the show had finished, I was sort of around the green room, and some of the finalists were interacting with the public, and you could really see the reactions. And I remember looking at Antoni Vald, Yuhiu, and Oscar Zia, and all three sat there and just looked miserable. They just looked really annoyed and just frustrated. Whereas Ace Wilder, who had just lost by the closest margin in the history of the contest, was bouncing around, couldn't be happier, and was like, I can't believe it. And she wasn't disheartened. I thought, that's incredible. I mean, you've just lost.
Yeah.
You were so close, but you're so happy. And I think from that moment is where she just totally won my respect, you know, as an artist. This song, yeah, it has to be in my top 4.
Yeah, I think that's a thing about her. Like she's always very relatable, and even when she always looks surprised. Like even when she got through to the final, she looked like really shocked by it. And even I thought, like, come on, you knew you were going to get through that semi-final this year. But even then, she looked really shocked and thankful. And I think that's why people do really like and respond to her. She comes across just like a normal human being, and not like
Yeah,
this big singer-songwriter on a platform. And I said you can only respect and love her for it.
completely.
Right. Well, in my 4th place, it's the oldest song in this top 5 for me, and it's Alcazar and Stay the Night from 2009.
Stay the night, won't you stay the night? Give me your love, hold on tight. Stay the night, if you stay the night. Give me your guide to paradise.
This just missed out. I just missed out.
Everything about this live show I can remember. Like everything. Like everyone goes to blame it on the disco for Alcazar. This beats it. This is better than. Like, yes, they had the disco ball back in 2014, but I just remember everything about this. Like, them just stood there, and, like, their dance moves, their choreography, which is all together, like, their vocals, like, everything about this song just made me go, wow. The entire 3 minutes just made me go, bloody hell, this is amazing. And again, like, you could tell they were just enjoying it. Like, although, yes, they were taking it seriously, but you could see they were still having fun with it all and everything. And that's just what Alcazar are. And that's, why I love them. Stay the Night is just fantastic. I love the choreography. I thought this was going to win. I really did think this was going to win in 2009. A bit gutted it didn't, but like, this song and them it's just amazing. I loved this performance. I just remember everything about it. Like I said, they can sing together amazingly, and they can dance amazing, which is not easy when you're trying to do both, but they make it look so effortless. So that's why I have put them in this. Like I could not have this song not in here. I love it too much.
I still consider their 4th place in Melodifestivalen in 2009 one of the biggest outrages in history. It was, I just didn't get it. This song was so instant and so powerful, especially on that last night in the final where they gave it everything. For the love of God, I just couldn't understand why they'd been ignored again. I mean, 4th place, it's respectable. They did well again. But when you look at the top 3, EMD, Caroline Nufulas and Milena Erman, I'm not going to say any of them are bad songs, and I do like all 3 songs, but it was like, Sweden, what are you doing? And I truly felt as well during the voting, once Hope and Glory was out of the run, I thought, that's it, it's going to be Stay the Night. And it wasn't. I think of all contests, this has been the one. That was the year that I was upset the most with the results. I've had years where my favourite didn't win, but this was a real kick in the face and then a kick in the teeth. This should have represented Sweden in 2009. Would have done a lot better than La Voix. And it's Alcazar. Like,
Yeah.
I can't say anything more about them. They're incredible.
Yeah, and going on the Eurovision Globe, this would have fit right in with the 2009 contest. There was a lot of like upbeat, not disco, but there were just a lot of upbeat, fun songs, and so this would have stood apart for the right reason. Whereas La Voix just everyone kind of looked at it with raised eyebrows as to what's going on. Whereas this, you would have been too busy having too much fun and jumping around to really care.
Yeah.
So that's why I love the song. Like they just have so much fun.
Great.
They want to make me want to dance as well. So that's why I've got to have Alcazar in there.
Literally just missing my top 5. If it was a top 10, it'd be in there, but they're just missing out. Incredible song.
So what have you got in 3rd place then? Top 3 now, getting even closer.
My 3rd one can easily be described as one of the most hated Melodifestivalen entries of all time.
I can see where this is going.
My 3rd place is Anna Bergendahl, This Is My Life.
This is my life, my friend, and this is my time to spend. Now this is my life, my friend.
Thought so.
You know what? I will never ever be able to, say why this song is what it is for me. I can't. I don't know what it is. It wasn't even until after its semi-final, 6 years ago. Now that it hit me, I think it was the lead up to the final where just something with this song clicked. I think at the time, I remember going through some personal issues where I felt this song just totally connected the dots for me, and this was such a relatable song for me at the time. And it's just, I think what I adored is that this told such a simple story that on the first listen you got and you understood. And it's so relatable, you know. I still as well think this is a big shock that it did win Melodifestivalen in 2010, you know.
Yeah.
Massive names in that year, but Sweden decided to go for something completely different, you know. And I can't tell you that I honestly think the night she didn't qualify for the final was the worst night of my life. You know, she is technically the least successful Swedish act of all time at Eurovision.
Yeah.
But I don't care. This song for me, it was the first song to ever hit 1,000 plays on my iPod. It's still my third most played song of all time. Just, I can still listen to the song, and it brings back a lot of great memories. And I know people hate this song. I know people hate this song. And I don't know what it is about the song that I find so incredible, but it still touches me. I think she just delivered a very honest performance. She didn't overcomplicate it, and I think she just won my heart in the way she did the Swedish public, where it was honest, it was simple, and that was it. You know, I think when you look at the songs that are consistent in my top 5, this is the only one that wasn't remembered for its staging. The staging plays such a big part in a hit for Melodifestivalen, but this didn't. You just needed that simplicity, and it worked.
Yeah.
So that's why it's in my top 3.
Well, my third place is a bit different to yours. You've gone for like something simple and sweet, and I've gone for Dance Alone by Love Generation from 2011.
DJ, turn it up loud. I'll dance alone. Keep the music playing on and on. I'll dance alone.
Again, just missing out on my top 5. This
Probably the-
song is incredible.
Biggest thing you can think of, like this, like when I heard it, I didn't hear anything leading up to this contest. Like I just literally waited until the evenings, and this literally hit me like a train. Like they looked amazing. Like the bang into the chorus every single time, even the lights behind them just made me go, wow. It was amazing. Like, and this was such a catchy, fun pop song, and I still don't understand why this was not in the final. Like this does not
Agreed.
make sense. Like should have been in the final. Should have beat Alexander. Would have probably won Eurovision, or
I
at
think
least the
it's still
top
when
3.
Eurovision.
This was a fit right in at Eurovision. I mean, Popular did for that year, and there were a lot of pop songs that year. This would have fit in, and this would have been the best of the bunch of the pop songs of 2011 if you look at the
Agreed.
others. Like, it was better than Jedward, it was better than Estonia's entry. You know, this would have done so well for them. It's ridiculous.
It was such a wasted opportunity.
and-
I think as well, you had a song delivered on a plate by Red One.
Yeah,
Red
yeah,
One.
yeah.
You wasted that. You know, I love Linda Bengtzing, but the fact that she won that semi-final was like, what the hell? And even Andre Chanson was an even bigger insult, losing out to a spot to Spring Felivet. I just was disgusted, and I was appalled, and I forever will be ashamed at Sweden for that decision. Probably, yeah, my most frustrating moment in the contest, the fact that I didn't even make the final.
I think this was the year and the time that I kind of lost faith with Sweden in picking something outside, because although it was like quite mainstream, they still were unique. But this is the year I kind of realised they're not going to pick anything that's unique. Like they're now just going to stick to something simple. But yeah, it aggravates me so much because it's always, oh, what could have been? Because this would have been popular in the final. We can see that. Like they can sing 10 times better than Eric Saade. Their performance was 10 times better. Yes, he had the shattering glass, but they literally were just themselves. They didn't have a gimmick. They just went out there and performed and sold the song. And they would have done the same in Germany. And yeah, it just annoys me so much. This is not even in the final to begin with. So
I think it's the fact it wasn't in the final, you know, that frustrates most people. I think it's the best song that never made a Melodifestivalen final. And I'll never know why Sweden did that,
no,
but it's a decision they have to live with, not me.
damn you, Sweden. Oh, right. Moving swiftly on. What is your runner-up for the greatest song in Melodifestivalen in your mind?
I can't say. I could go on all day about this woman. My second song to ever compete in Melodifestivalen
Mhm.
is Sanna Nilsson with Undo.
Undo myself. Undo what hurts so bad. Undo my pain.
For me, before 2014, there was no one in the world I wanted to come and win Melodifestivalen more than Sanna. I'd been a huge fan. 2008 was pretty much one of my first contests. Empty Room was absolutely phenomenal. it really did deserve its win against Hero. You know, she came back. I'm in Love again, just misses out on this list. Incredible song, and I just knew one day Sana needed to come back with a ballad and just destroy everything. And when they said she was coming back with this song, I was obviously very excited. I thought, okay, I'm not going to get too excited because this will break my heart. But I will never forget that first, 60 seconds listening to Undo from that rehearsal clip. And I've never been so sure that I'd heard a winner. And then the full song, was presented, and I was so starstruck by it. I was like, this is phenomenal on every level. She is an incredible act. Her voice is stunning. The song is huge, you know, and that's, I've never been so nervous in my life than waiting for the results of Melodifestivalen in 2014. I've never been so nervous. Asked my friend who went with me as the televotes came in. I sat there with my hands over my face thinking, I can't watch this. But I've never been more happy than when she won. And this song for me, it totally represents my all-time favorite act to do with Eurovision or Melodifestivalen finally winning after all these years with easily her best song, and to top it off, a third place at Eurovision, one of Sweden's best ever results. And I just can't help but feel proud. Like, I got to meet her that weekend in Stockholm at the final, and all I could do was just feel so proud of what she'd accomplished, even before, the final taking place. For a lot of people, I think this song is very iconic in the sense that it was the song that finally did it for Sana.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people think, yeah, it should have been Ace. I mean, they're both in my top 5, for all time. So I find that very frustrating. A lot of people, do think Ace should have gone to Copenhagen, and to an extent, I agree. But this woman in this song, it just couldn't have been ignored, and they went with their best possible option. I literally have got so many good words to say about Sanne Nielsen, but this song is going to take a lot for something to top this for me now.
Well, my second place, I have gone with a Loreen song, but it's not the song everyone's going to be thinking of. It is My Heart Is Refusing Me.
I made up my mind. My heart is refusing me. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. My heart is refusing me.
I do prefer this to Euphoria. I'm going to say that now.
Wow.
See, in Eurovision sense, yes, Euphoria is one of the best songs ever released in Eurovision. But for Melodifestivalen, it was very close, but I still have songs I prefer. And I prefer this one. I don't know why, but I find it more believable in what she's singing. Like, her performance of My Heart Is Refusing Me was sensational. Like, it literally looked like, in the nicest possible way, like she was like always having a heart attack on stage. Like, you could see like her heart was hurting her. And I think that's what topped it for me, because again, with Sweden, it's all very tick the boxes, sing like this, do this, do this, do this, and she just kind of threw it out the window, and she did her thing with her backing dancers, with her, whatever she wanted to do, and she made it so believable in what she was saying that you couldn't help but relate to it or think of a situation where you could. And I think that's one of the most important things in music, especially when you're singing a song about emotion, is that you connect with the correct emotion and deliver it. And that's what she did. So, I mean, I'm not going to knock Euphoria whatsoever, but I love My Heart Is Refusing Me, and I prefer it to Euphoria. I mean, I love this song. I still, in my mind, think it's her best song she's ever released. I mean, she is amazing, and she always will be amazing, but this for me is just phenomenal. I love it. And again, it wasn't in the final. Like, this year was so bad.
What a bad year.
I know. Oh,
No,
it's
I
awful.
totally agree. I totally agree with what you say in the sense of her presentation of this song it's on a different level. I've had these conversations with people, and the problem that Swedish people have when it comes to Melodifestivalen and singing an emotional song is they fail to correctly emote the song. If you're going to sing a really passionate song, whether it's a ballad or just something that is a passionate song, you need to deliver that with it to correctly get the message across. Otherwise, you fail. Like, it just doesn't work. And she poured her heart and soul onto that stage, And what I find very endearing is obviously Euphoria was the song that obviously set her career in motion. But even afterwards, after it was all over, she quite happily said, My Heart Is Refusing Me means more to me. And that's mostly likely because she wrote the song. She didn't actually write Euphoria. She did write My Heart Is Refusing Me. And for that reason, I can totally understand why. The song is her baby, you know. And I agree. Yeah, but that is actually in my top 25 most played of all time. Definitely one of the all-time best Melodifestivalen entries. Appalling again, it wasn't in the final. Bring for Leave It beat both this and Love Generation to get through.
Oh,
Whereas I agree, where both Loreen and Love Generation are two of the best ever entries. And what is Spring for Leave It against them? It's nothing. But no, I totally agree. Like her performance, you know, throughout Melodifestivalen in 2011 was phenomenal. And it's appalling she wasn't in the final, you know. And that song is totally worthy of a place in your top five. Absolutely.
so now, who's your winner of our top five Melodifestivalen? I can guess, but what is it? Let me...
I don't think it's really a shock, and this is probably the same number one that every Eurovision fan has across the world. It is Loreen with Euphoria.
What was that?
I still remember the moment, you know, 2000, end of 2011, where they announced the participants list for that year. And I remember, I think what they did, I'm pretty sure, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure what they did in 2000 and, well, end of 2011 to announce the participants list, they didn't do what they usually did. They announced the song titles and they announced the composers, but they didn't announce the act that was singing the song. So we weren't aware, I'm pretty sure that this is how it went, but we weren't aware of who was singing what. And I remember, you know, going through the list and seeing Euphoria, Peter Boostrom and Thomas Gierson. And instantly, I remember looking at that thinking, that instantly for me sounds like a winner. Like, there's just something about it, like the word euphoria as well. I think to go to compete in a contest like this with a song called Euphoria is such a brave move because it's such a powerful word. And then when the full list was announced and it was Loreen singing this, okay, because she obviously set this big hype with My Heart Is Refusing Me. Honestly, I didn't expect her to create the same impact as she did with My Heart Is Refusing Me. So when she delivered that first performance, you know, in the semi-final, I think it did to me what it did to everyone, and it just shook the world.
Yeah.
It was, I remember quite comfortably that year was all about Danny. Everyone was convinced he was going to win. But I remember everyone instantly thinking after that first semi-final, just the first semi-final, everyone had written off the rest of the contest and no one cared about the rest. For everyone, this needed to go to Eurovision and win. And I think that's such a rarity. We have songs that as fans we all back and they go on and do well. But everyone on that night was, this has to win Eurovision as well as Melodifestivalen. And no one has rocked the Eurovision world more than she has. The song has gone on to be a global success. It has revolutionized both Melodifestivalen and Eurovision. And that staging, no one, I don't care, no one will ever do what she did in 3 minutes. I still get so emotional by this song because I think the beauty in this song is that there are so many different interpretations of this song, how you can take it, its message, and what it means to you. And I've had different parts of my life where different things have gone on, happy and sad, where this is totally applied to how I'm feeling. And like I said, what she did in 3 minutes is just incredible. To emote to people like that and to sort of grab people's attention like that is something special. And everything about the performance is so honest. I mean, by far my favorite part, end of the second chorus, when she just slams down to the floor and the snow starts, she just looks up at the crowd and, you know, we're about to go into the burst of the final chorus, but even then you just feel how real this is. Yes, she didn't write the song. This isn't her song, but it's just incredible. And the one thing I will give this song that I've said before, and I fully stand by, the song isn't why it's so good, it's her.
Yeah.
If anyone else had sung this song, it would have been a great song. But it's her, it's like what we said with My Heart Is Refusing Me. The way she can emote a song is what made this so big. Like how she connected with it and how she delivered that. And I don't think anyone has ever done that since. And I know it's early days. It's only been, what, 4 years since Euphoria won Eurovision. But for the rest of my time as a Eurovision fan, I very much fail to see how anything is going to top this. And I think most people would probably agree with that. You know, I could sit here and talk about Loreen all day, but I'm not going to. But Euphoria is, it's not only my favorite, Melodifestivalen song or Eurovision song, it's by far my all-time favorite song. And I just can't say enough about it. Amazing, incredible.
Yeah, like I said, also she didn't write it. You still need to sing it and perform well, and she did that in abundance. So no one was surprised she won. Let's be honest, or Eurovision. And like I said, she's
No.
gone on to do amazing things. She's still current now, and that song is still current now. Like it played as
The
a
fact that 4 years on, she is still being invited to national finals to sing that song says it all. Yeah, you get the previous, I think she as a performer to sing that song has been invited to more national selections than Mons has this year.
yeah.
And that says it all. The song is 4 years on. Other than Loreen, no one can remember who won Eurovision 3, 5, 6 years ago. But Loreen is one of those that 20 years from now, people will remember this song.
Yeah,
This isn't a song that isn't going away, anytime soon.
everyone says how ABBA and Waterloo revolutionised Eurovision and gave it in a different light, and I think Loreen in 20 years' time will have the same impact when we look back.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're good. Sweden are good at that. They're good at revolutionising, clearly.
That's why they're our favourites.
Even though they do make some shocking decisions. But my winner is Anna Bergendahl. This is my life. Like
This is my life, my friend, and this is my time to stand.
this
Oh, wow.
song.
Someone who loves the song more than me, that's a rarity.
I do. I absolutely adore this song. I know people hate it and say it's this, it's that, it didn't deserve to qualify in the final. It so did deserve to get through its semi-final. It so did deserve to be in the final because it's a simple song. I mean, I do love my big upbeat, dance songs as I've said in this list, but the simplicity of this song was amazing. Took it all back, just her. The lyrics are relatable. She was like, what, 19 when she wrote
I
this
think
song?
she's
Or
about
something?
18, 19 when
Yeah.
she competed with
She was,
this.
she was about my age. I know the song you can see it's relevant to her, or it can be. It's like say anyone can take the lyrics in a song and apply it to themselves. This is my life. That itself is just a universal title that anyone can relate to. And this is my time to stand. Everyone's had that point in their life and they need to think that. And I had the simplicity of the staging with just her, with a little guitar and in her little boots and all that. It was so simple and it worked. Everything worked. And I know people don't like the song, and people say, Slace, if I'm not qualifying at Sweden, how could Sweden send this? It was amazing, and I don't
It
care.
was.
And I don't care what anyone says. I love this song. I love Anna Bergendahl. It's a bit of a shame that because she didn't make the final, she's kind of been forgotten about in Swedish music, which makes me sad. She had a new album released last year, and no one really batted an eyelid. And give the girl some credit. She still did extremely well, and it's not like she came last at Eurovision. She just missed out on the final. She came 11th, and if the new rules were in place in 2010 as it is this year, she would have qualified. I don't care what anyone says. If anyone wants to hate it, go ahead. But I will just shout out about how much I love it more, because this song is amazing, and nothing has topped it for me yet. Nothing's made me feel something and go wow as much as that has for me. And I would like her to come back. I doubt she ever will. I doubt she'll ever be invited back. But
No.
if she did ever get announced that she was returning, I would be really, really happy. So a little bit of me will hold on to that hope forever. But who's
Yeah, I disagree with that in the terms of, for me, if an actor set themselves a standard so high, don't bother. I mean, honest to God, my worst nightmare possible is to see a participants list for a future Melodifestivalen with Loreen on it. No, purely because you developed your name on what you did. Don't tarnish that memory and deliver something that's substandard. Okay, for Anna Bergendahl, it's probably different. People already hate her. So it's not like, oh, you did so well that you've got something better to do. It's like, it's not a case of that. But again, for me, I don't think, I love her debut album. Every song on that album for me is incredible. And I just don't think she could come back and do something better than This Is My Life. And I'm a big believer of, if you can't bet yourself, don't bother. Ace Wilder is one of the only people for me who's managed to come back to the contest with a song equally as good as their previous. Same with Sanna Nilsson, who's done better. I just don't. If you can't better it, don't come back. And I just think my memories of this song, nothing will ever top that. So
Yeah.
I never want to see her back in this contest. Not in a malicious way. It's just because I don't want her to tarnish my memories.
I think we are the only two that would say that in a nice way, though. If she
I've
was to
never
come back.
met someone who has ranked the song higher than me ever in 6 years. I've never met someone who believes, you know,
I adore it.
you'd probably be shot by most people for saying you think that Anna Bergendahl is better than Loreen.
I probably will, but I don't care. That's how I feel. There's something about this song that I just connect with, and I think it's everything. Like, she just looks adorable, and so everything just makes my heart warm towards her. I think that's what it is. I know it's not like the cool thing to do to go on Anna Bergendahl and not Loreen, and not even put Euphoria in my top 5, but it's just how it is. I'm afraid. I can't explain. That's the thing. I can't fully explain why I love the song as much as I do. And I think that's a good thing, like when you can't fully explain it, like it's just a feeling. And
It
it is,
just is what it is.
and it is, it's just a feeling to me. Like I remember watching the voting, thinking, oh please let this win. And when the international juries like left it like at 4th, I was thinking, oh bugger, it's not gonna go. This is like, it made me really sad. And then Sweden, thank God, gave it 3 12s and a 10. I'm thinking, okay, this now has a chance, but I still don't think it's gonna win. And when it did, like her reaction says it all when she got announced that she won.
She couldn't believe it.
When she got the highest marks, and even when she like qualified in her semi-final, her reaction was just a pure shock and amazing. That says it all, and it proves like how much it meant to her and how much the song means to her. And I think that's important. You know, it's not just like, oh yes, I've won. It's like she was like genuinely like in disbelief. You know, I am still extremely sad that she didn't qualify, and I've actually seen
6
footage.
years old. That was a horrible night.
And I've actually seen footage of the moment she found out she didn't qualify.
Yeah,
and that is
we've all seen that video.
heartbreaking.
It's horrible. It's hard to watch that
And like,
video.
and watching her walking out of the green room down the stairs, it's like that is the most heartbreaking thing ever. Because you just knew she put her heart and soul into that performance, and you know she doesn't.
You can just tell in that moment after, you know, when Krista goes to hug her to comfort her. He's not comforting her. He's saying, "You're dead to me."
I just think she is amazing, regardless of what anyone else thinks of her. You know, say what you want, but I love her, and I always will, and I will always love this song because it's always going to be relevant. It's always going to have a relevance at some point.
Agree. And I think that's what I love about it. It's still 6 years on, and 60 years from now, we'll have a relevant message to people today.
Exactly.
You know, it's not a song that it's all about now. It is a universal message.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it's not dated as well. You know, some of these songs are a bit dated. This isn't. So that's what we think.
Okay.
That's what we think. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. And also, who do you think will win the Melodifestivalen in 2016? And do you agree with the rightful winner after Saturday? I'm very jealous of Mikey because he's going to be in Flint Arena watching it live. Whilst I'm watching it.
It won't be a blessing come the vote, and I wish I'll be anywhere else in the world other than the arena. But please everyone vote for Ace.
Please. And ACDC, just please come to England. I need to see her live, but it's not cheap to get out to Sweden. And as always, thank you, Mikey, for being a part of this video.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem.